Hello, everyone. My name is Irfan of Sariwala, and welcome to today's episode of Irfan's Crystal Ball. Today, we have a very special episode as I am joined by former Super Bowl champion and current Tennessee Titans defensive tackle, Sebastian Joseph-Day.
What's up, my man? How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me. This is gonna be awesome.
And thank you for coming on. It's a real pleasure to have you, and I'm super excited to hear some of your story. Now, the first question I wanted to ask you is when you got drafted in the sixth round to the Rams, what was that moment like, and what were some of the emotions you felt?
That moment was amazing. The reason why it was so special was not only was I fulfilling a dream, but it was my dad's birthday. So that day, I was celebrating my dad's birthday. I threw like a party for him and all of his friends. All of our friends and family were together, and um, and then obviously I got the call. So I think it just meant so much more because it was my father's birthday. Obviously, without my father and my mother, I wouldn't be in this. I wouldn't have been in this position. I wouldn't be able to play. Seven going on my seventh season in the NFL. So I'll probably say that was definitely the the most unreal feeling you could feel. It was such a joyous day. It was a beautiful day for sure.
Yeah, and that's exciting to hear. I mean, that must be really special being able to get drafted on your dad's birthday. Was he one of your biggest coaches growing up or
Believe it or not, I felt like, well, yes, in life, my dad was one of my biggest coaches in life. But I felt like in football, my dad kind of let me figure it out on my own. My parents are both. I'm a first generation American from both my parents are from Haiti, so I'm first generation. Um, and the one thing I really appreciate with my parents is the most important thing for them was for me to get my education and go to school. Football kind of worked its way in my life naturally, like naturally within itself, and they never forced it on me. They never pushed it on me. I just found the game. I ended up falling in love with it. Um, and yeah, so I'd probably say in football he never really like tried to coach me. I feel like now I'm in the NFL. He does coach me a little bit more along the lines of like you know way I should approach things in my mindset, and um, obviously like just like more like the mental aspect of the game of how I should approach things. But he never really coached me on that. Just more so about life, more so life coaching.
yeah, absolutely. And
That's
that
what I love the most.
yeah, completely makes sense. And it's always great to have parents helping you out, especially in my life with me. I'm gonna get started getting into college and everything. It's just been great having two parents who care about me and help me along the way as well.
Oh,
Um,
for sure. You have two great parents. Yeah, for sure.
The next question I wanted to ask you is after being drafted a few years later, you ended up winning the Super Bowl with the Rams. What was that
Mhm.
kind of emotion like, and how long did the happiness from winning the Super Bowl carry over for?
Oh, I mean, it was unreal because what's so cool about that process is you see like the building, the growth each year of the team. I remember like my rookie year, I got spoiled. So my rookie year went to the Super Bowl at first. My rookie year was more so like a red shirt year for me. I made the 53-man roster, but I had amazing Hall of Fame players in front of me, like Ndamukong Suh, Aaron Donald, Michael Brockers, Dominic Easley, Dante Flower. All these guys are first round picks. Uh, Amazing players. So my first year, even though I made the team, I was able to, really like pick those guys' brains and learn from them. And obviously the following year and starting, but we kind of had a little bit of a lull, but the conference was just so hard. The conference was just so tough that we missed the playoffs by one game. That was a time that we were good, San Fran was good, and Seattle was good, and they didn't expand the playoff. And then the following year, the next year, then we build off that, got in the playoffs, and then my fourth year, my final year, my contract with the Rams, we were able to put it all together. And I think to your question, I just think it just just shows what life is all about. Life's about consistency and just chopping with each and every day until you get better and better and better, then you reach those goals. So like I just think it was such an amazing feeling, such an amazing experience to do that with those guys that I came in with. Because it really takes everyone, it takes every single person on that roster to fulfill that goal, the ultimate goal. And there's no better feeling like it. And the feeling lasted for a very long time. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Even thank you. Even when I signed with the Chargers, I was just different. Like signing with the Chargers, like those memories never leave. Those memories never leave. Those relationships never leave. The people that you did it with never leave. That accomplished that goal with never leave as well. Let me better phrase it that way. And yeah, it's still to this day. We're bonded for life, for me and all those guys for sure.
Yeah, and you also won the Super Bowl at SoFi as well. What was
Yeah,
it like winning in your own city where your team plays every week as well?
yeah, no, it was fire. It was amazing, super cool. Um, yeah, honestly, it was like God was looking down on us, man, for sure. Everything was just aligned so perfectly for us, and yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. That's all I could say. There's no other words to describe it. It was just an unreal experience, and winning it in stadium, in our city, it's nothing like it at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And winning at home must feel so good. And like you said earlier, you then went to sign with the Chargers right after. With the Chargers,
Yeah.
you had a much bigger presence, especially in the passing defense game. How were you able to improve that with the Chargers, and how did that overall help your game, not only with run stopping ability, but just overall?
Yeah, I just really well, it was pretty interesting with the Chargers because, originally with the Rams, I played nose. And when I got to the Chargers, we got that first year that we made playoffs there, we got really, really we got hit with the injury bug really bad. Like everyone was getting hurt. It was crazy. Like left, all of the people, all of our really good guys were getting hurt left and right. I think when it came to like new guys that came in, the only guys that were left, like the new guys that came in that year was only like me and Khalil. Me and Khalil, that were the only guys that came in the new like that new regime that year that was healthy. Oh no, me, Khalil, and Kyle Van Noy. Um, and Morgan Fox. There's only like four of us left, but we brought in like a ton of us. It was like we brought in a bunch of guys. So and even starters overall. Like, I remember like Joey was out, J.C. Jackson was out, Austin Johnson was out, another starter. So we got hit pretty bad. We got hit pretty bad. And I'd probably say they had to move me. They had to move me in my position because they were like, "Hey, listen, we're injured up front." And then yes, Tito got hurt. Tito Orbanya got hurt, and then Christian Covington got hurt. So they're like, "Listen, we're so limited on numbers. We need you to play D end or D tackle D end." And in my mind, I was like, "Well, I never played that before. I always played nose, but obviously, having a C on my chest, I got to do whatever to help the team." So that's kind of what made me move over outside of that nose position, where majority of it was like run stops, and I have occasional pass rush. It kind of made me have to rush now, like because now I have more space when I have pass rush attempts, and just kind of learn my body differently. Because there's a lot more space to play within. His nose very quick. It's like boom, boom, like it's very fast and very quick. Out there, you have a little more space to work with. So I'll just say probably just I'll just say my coaches. A lot of credit goes out to my coaches, Jay Rogers, and just working with me. Helping me make that transition. I think that's probably the biggest difference of my pass rush game getting a lot better from previous years that year. So yeah.
Yeah, and like you said, being the captain, you were willing to sacrifice and make a lot of adjustments to help the benefit of a team. When you were the captain, what other things did you have to do not only to help make yourself better, but the team better as well?
Well, I think that was probably honestly one of the biggest things because again, like think about like so I got drafted as a nose. I played nose my whole time at college, and then now they're saying, and I won a Super Bowl being a nose, being a nose tackle and being really good at it. And they're like, hey, we need you to play this position. So I think that honestly, that was one of them because honestly, we ended up getting in the playoffs even with all those injuries. So like I said, those were three guys I named on offense. But also we had guys like Keenan Allen hurt, Mike Williams hurt, who are star receivers. Um, so we were down like five or six starters, and not just starters, like really premier players. Joey Bosa was hurt. So I think me doing that obviously helped the team because we ended up making playoffs that year. Other things I had to do was, obviously, I felt like one of the things that we did as leaders, and a huge test goes to Khalil Mack for this. Khalil Mack always wanted us because Khalil was one of the captains as well, and he always wanted us to go out to dinner. So we'd always go out to dinner and bond and whatnot. And it was cool because the captains would pay. Khalil. Every once in a while, like obviously the whole defense would go out, and then Khalil would pay, and then sometimes I would want to throw my card in there because I felt bad, but I don't feel always paying for the whole defense. Stuff like that, just stuff to like kind of like bring the team together, like bond us. Quality time, having dinners, hosting dinners at my house, stuff like that. I think that's the biggest thing in life. What I've noticed is, and what I know in life is that when someone genuinely cares about you and genuinely wants the best for you, then you'll take that extra mile for that person. You'll go that extra mile for that person. You'll go harder for that person on the football field, whether it's weight room. You'll sacrifice actually for the common goal that we all want to attain and reach. So the biggest thing I probably say I had to do is just sacrifice, a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of just pure and intentional communications, trying to get to know everyone. Um, and I loved it. I loved every moment of it because some of these bonds I made again, like I made for life, and some of these guys I know I could always text. Now that even though I know I'm not on the Chargers anymore, I could always text. I saw Khalil yesterday actually in training. I went to my D line coach and we gave each other a big hug. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what it's all about. It's about the brotherhood. And yeah, I wouldn't trade after the world. I know that's kind of a long-winded answer. I'm sorry.
No, no, no. I enjoy hearing these your stories because I think a lot of people forget that a lot, especially when there's trades and cuts and other forms it's of transactions, people lose their friends and they are unable to go and see them like on a daily basis. But it's good that you're still able to keep in touch with a lot of your friends and former teammates as well.
For sure, definitely, and yeah, that's just part of the business, man. I think also it's just like life. It's just life how life goes. The highs and lows. You can never get too high, never get too low. Just kind of have to stay stagnant through it all. And yeah, like there's guys even on the Rams that I still talk to. And that's what the NFL is all about. It's all about brotherhood. It's all about those relationships, and because it really is a fraternity of guys. Because it's so hard to be able to get in this league and to play for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. My next question that I had for you was you went from the Chargers to the 49ers in the middle of the season last year.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
difficult was it to be able to learn an entirely new playbook, a scheme, and a totally new defense within a matter of days and weeks?
No, that's a great question. It was definitely very tough, and they gave me like maybe a week to adjust, and they threw me in there. They threw
That's,
me in actually right away. Like the first game, I was like, "Geez," it threw me in right away. It was definitely challenging, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. And kind of like I was saying, like the ebbs and flows of life, man. Like sometimes life could be great and really easy, and sometimes life could be really hard and not so easy. And I think, and first and foremost, I'm super thankful to do that. And they're in a first class organization, man. First class organization. Shout out to those guys. But what I have to say is that it was challenging, but I wouldn't want it any other way because football I feel like truly represents what life is. Like I was saying prior, football has its hard times, have its tough times. Football doesn't care if you're injured and you're playing or if you're not injured or playing. All that matters in football is that you did your job. And I feel like that's kind of what life's about, right? Like unfortunately, no matter how tough it sounds, like people don't care like what happened at home. People don't like your teachers or people don't like your boss doesn't care like if something happened at home. Like obviously there'll be exceptions, like if there's like a catastrophic event, but they don't really care if you're not in the mood to work or if you're not in the mood to do this. All they really care about is you getting the job done and you being a great employee. And same thing I feel like goes with the game of football. Like it's black white. No one's really gonna feel bad for you. You signed up for it, and this is how it goes. So it kind of teaches you how to persevere, how to push through those challenges, how to push through um, those hardships, and that's why I love the game. So yeah, was it hard? It was very challenging, but I feel like I became a better player. And not only a better player, but a better man because of that situation. It taught me how to handle adversity in a whole different way, how to handle hardship in a whole different way. At the time, my son was just born. So obviously I had to leave my son back in California or back in Orange County and go up to San Francisco. So that also gave me a new appreciation of my family. Like obviously I love and appreciate my family, but it gave me even deeper and a deeper appreciation for them and my wife, obviously, and all that she does for us. So it really was a blessing in disguise, man. It was hard, but it was really a blessing in disguise. So I feel like I became an even smarter player because I had to pick up that so fast. And so yeah, hope that answers your question.
Yeah, and like you said, there's so much again you had to sacrifice just to be able to go play up in San Francisco. You had to leave, like you said, your wife and your son behind. But being when you were there, you provided a lot of leadership, especially to a younger defense that they've obviously made the playoffs the last few years, but they've struggled to go all the way. And with that leadership, do you feel like you were able to help some of the younger players who had never really played in the playoff games before?
No, to believe it or not, when I got to San Fran, they had a great amount of leadership. That Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, Christian McCaffrey, those guys, man, the leadership was there. They were hungry, they wanted it. Eric Armstead, who's awesome. Javon Hargrave, another D lineman. They're both awesome guys. They had great leadership. Me, I was there and I gave my input to those who wanted it, who asked, who seeked it. So yeah, there was times where some young guys would ask me like, "Hey, how's it like winning the Super Bowl? How's this?" And obviously I'd give them my insight, but the leadership was all there, man. And that's why they went to the Super Bowl because it was already there. All I was doing is I added to the amazing team that they were. They were already an amazing team without me there, and they just added me and made them even he made themselves even better. So it was just fun to be able to go there and just see the the night and day kind of difference of both organizations, if that makes sense. Like obviously, because Chargers is a different organization, how they run things compared to San Francisco. San Francisco truly did remind me the most of the Rams when I was in the Rams for sure, and it was awesome. It was really an awesome experience.
Yeah, and like you said, your Rams experience was with the Super Bowl. Um, Now you signed with the Tennessee Titans. What are some of your expectations going into this year, especially for a defense that signed you, Kenneth Murray, recently Jamal Adams as well, and then traded for Snead as well?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited for this year. Amazing opportunity, amazing coaches that we have on the staff as well. Um, I'm just Listen, man, I'm just here just to be myself and just to bring whatever the team needs from me. Whether that is leadership, whether that is, me stopping the run, whatever it is they want, they'll get from me. And I'm just excited because, like you said, we have some really talented players on this roster. And that's on defense, not even talking about the offense. The offense, I feel like, is what's scary right now with the Tennessee Titans. We're loaded on offense, but I'm just really excited just to go out there and just play with these guys and build new relationships and try and make things shake on the field, man. I'm just really excited about that. Um, yeah, so I hope that it kind of answers your question.
Yeah, and week one you opened against the Chicago Bears, who are with rookie quarterback Caleb Williams. Jeffrey Simmons has said that he's going to talk a lot of trash to Caleb Williams. Are you going to try to do anything to mess him up in his first game as well with like cadence or any other things?
Uh, no, I don't know. I mean, listen, Caleb Williams is an amazing talent. Super excited to go against them because they're going to be a very talented team. I mean, they're a very stacked team. Keenan's over there now. They have DJ Moore, Caleb Williams, obviously a phenomenal player. They have an amazing wide receiver. I know a lot of their O line comes back now. So they're going to be a really good team. They're going to be a really good team and a really formidable opponent. So you know, I'm just gonna try to do my job, man, and do what I have to do to help us get a W in whatever way that the coaches or the Titans want me to do that. And yeah, Simmons, that's his. I guess that's what Simmons is gonna do. I don't know. I have nothing to say about that. That's between him and Caleb, I guess. But yeah, I'm just excited for that week one matchup. It's gonna be a real fun game. Very talented team, and it's gonna be a challenge, but it's gonna be fun for sure.
Yeah, and is there any game in particular, one on the schedule that you have circled as kind of one that brings a lot of importance to you?
Oh, come on, my man. Which game on that schedule that's important. The Chargers, baby. I'm
Yeah,
coming.
well,
I'm coming back, man. Come on, of course.
I'm super excited and I hope you win that. I'm definitely going to be rooting for you. Me and my family are all Sebastian fans and we always love to root for you. So we're always going to be cheering for you and we always hope you win.
My man, I truly appreciate it. Know that you and your family are huge fans in the Joseph Day household as well. I love what you're doing. Love that you're starting this podcast. I love everything you're doing in the journalism space. I can't wait to see you continue to grow and make a huge career out of this thing. I know you're gonna make a huge career out of this thing. So when you do make it big, don't forget Sebastian Joseph-Day he was your number one supporter. All right.
I definitely will not forget. You have been one of my biggest supporters and I really appreciate that for everything you've done for me. The last question I wanted to ask you is before we finish is do you have any advice for anyone who's trying to get to the NFL or trying to become a bigger player?
Yeah. Um, and honestly, I think this goes just towards life, not just even the NFL. Um, whatever you do, so whatever you want to do or become, whether that is, a professional athlete or, an exceptional journalist or whatever your space is, a doctor, lawyer, make sure that your daily habits reflect what you want your goal to be. That's the message I have. And when I say that, obviously, that could be taken as very vague, but make sure that each and every day when you wake up, that everything that you do helps you get one step closer to be the best version, or even a journalist, whatever it may be, whatever you want to be. Because at the end of the day, time is limited. Time, that's one thing that we can't get back. Time. So make sure you should make the most of it, man, because everyone has greatness inside of them. It's just if they're willing to sacrifice and go the extra mile for it. So that's kind of my advice for um anyone and athletes as well.
Well, I appreciate that advice and hopefully a lot of young people will be able to hear that and take inspiration from you and your story and then make it to the NFL one day. Well, I want to wish you the best of luck this year and hopefully you get your second ring. And I really appreciate you coming on to the podcast. Hopefully we can have you on again in the future. And I just want to say thank you.
My man, appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me. It means the world. Hope you have a great summer, a great school year, and sign us out, man. Sign us out the podcast, man. Let's do it.
Will do. Thank you, Sebastian. Hope to see you soon.
See you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.